Today's featured album is an overlooked country rock classic from Poco, the band the Eagles wish they could be. And even though I've loved this album for years, I'm only just learning how to pronounce its title. Hi, and welcome to a celebration of 50 years of the seventh album by Poco. And okay, maybe you've seen over at Sea of Tranquility recently the show Pete Pardo and Grant Arthur did on Poco. And if not, you should. I'll link it in the description for you below. Anyway, it featured this little exchange.
Number 4, Cantamos, which means we sing in Spanish. 7 studio albums. Cantamos. Well, yeah, I didn't take Spanish.
I am half Spanish. I should know at least that, right? So,
all right. Thank you. Thanks for bailing me out.
Well, thank you both, gents. So there you go. Now I still can't get it. Anyway, just to clarify, when Grant said that it means we sing in Spanish, he means it's Spanish for we sing. They don't sing in Spanish, they sing in English. Just thought I'd clarify that for you, in case anyone's even slower than I am. Anyway, however you say it, this album's damn good. And I'm therefore featuring it as a 50-year flashback. 50-year flashback! Yeah. And I'm treating it to the Random Foreplay, which is simply where I put an album on shuffle and we listen to the first 4 songs that come up. Neat. So I'll talk a bit more about the album and the lineup and other things as we go along, but let's do some listening. Starting with our first random track of the day, and that's going to be this one. Okay, so we're going to start at the end of the album with All the Ways. This is the album closer, one of 3 tracks written by Rusty Young. Not sung by Rusty, this is Timothy B. Schmidt on the lead vocals.
All the ways of your love, the hurt and tears to cry. I sit and count the reasons why I ever fall in love. It seems so simple to me. I know just how it should be. You take my loving so carelessly. I keep on hoping someday you'll understand. A heart that is breaking can't keep waiting for you and all the ways of your love, the hurt and tears to cry. I'll sit and count the reasons why I ever fall in love. When we're together, you treat me like a child. You only tell me what you think you should. What if tomorrow I was gone out of your life? How would you find your way with no one to show you all the ways of your love, the hurt and tears to cry? I sit and count the reasons why I ever fall in love. All the time that passed us by, could it be the tide to bind hearts that act so blind and never
Alrighty, that was All the Ways, which, as I said, was the album closer and effectively closed their career with Epic Records, because this was their 8th and final with them, 7 studio albums and the live Deliverin' release, before they switched to ABC for Head Over Heels, which was the next album in 1975. Poco sales were never outstanding for the most part. You know, they weren't dreadful, horrible flops, but they never sold a ton. This album, no exception, only reached number 76, which was actually their lowest chart peak at this point in their history. It was, of course, also their second without Richie Furay, who left after Crazy Eyes in 1973. So the lineup that we have here is Rusty Young on pedal steel, banjo, guitars, vocals, backing vocals only, Paul Cotton on lead guitars and vocals, Timothy B. Schmidt on bass and vocals, and George Grantham on drums and backing vocals. Tim Schmidt, of course, came into the band after replacing Randy Meisner on bass, and a few years later he would replace Randy Meisner on bass in that other band, the Eagles. Yeah, you knew that. Yeah. I mentioned this as one of 3 Rusty Young songs on the album, and it is really where he kicked up a massive gear in terms of contribution to the band's songwriting. It contributed before, but usually instrumentals or near instrumentals like Rocky Mountain Breakdown on previous album, Pogo 7. So you've got 3 tracks from him, 2 from Tim, and 4 from Paul Cotton. So all adds up to a nice mix. There's the different songwriting flavours and styles that come across the album, as we will discover, no doubt, as we continue on with probably 2 back-to-back tracks as the middle section of our random foreplay for today. So let's get back into it and see what we find, starting with this one. This is High and Dry, which is another Rusty tune.
Tell me a story about how you've been burned.
Again sung by Tim.
No one can hurt you, your lessons you learned. All for the lover with stars in his eyes, feeling the pain of all his bye-byes, feeling the pain of all his bye-byes. High and
Paul Cotton on guitar. Such a player.
tell you things just ain't the same. Look all around you, there's no one to blame. There is a reason for all those years. You do less crying, there'll be fewer tears. You do less crying, there'll be fewer tears. High and dry. High and
George getting to show what he can do. Such an ensemble, this group. Not Hammond organ, as discussed by Pete and Grant recently as well. Can't deny that this makes sense. You do less crying, there'll be fewer tears. So yeah, that bit that sounded like a Hammond organ, that was Rusty playing his pedal steel through a Leslie. And we're moving swiftly on to a Paul Cotton tune, Another Time Around. I wonder if we'll get a Tim song for our last one. There's only two. All on vocals here too, by the way. Where'd they come in?
Did you hear that telephone ring? You better get ready and pack your things. Oh, it's time to be going out again. Kiss the ladies goodbye. Wipe the tears from their pretty eyes. You'll be back sometime, but you don't know when. Moving on and on through the country. Moving on and on in the town. Things are getting better in the times for you and me. I wanna make it last another time around.
New Dan Harmony vocals. It's wonderful with this group.
How good it was to
Whoever sing.
chalk it up to the best of all times. And all those hours on the plane, a million miles on your brain. No cause to wonder if it's still a good time. Moving on and on through the country. Moving on and on in the town. Things are getting better in the time. Kiss the ladies goodbye. Wipe the tears from the pretty eyes. You'll be back sometime, but you don't know when. Moving on and on through the country. Moving on and on in the town. Things are getting better in the times for you and me. I wanna make it last another time around. I wanna make it last another time around.
Yeah. So High and Dry followed there by Another Time Around. And when Poco switched labels, as I mentioned, Epic kindly put out a double compilation to compete with their first album on their new label. That track, Another Time Around, was the only track from this album represented there. They really focused on the early Ritchie stuff because there's only one track from Poco 7 as well, I think, or maybe two. Anyway, great stuff there, and good to get a Paul Cotton tune in the mix. You can never guarantee with these random listens as to how much you're going to cover, if you see what I mean. Well, you know you're going to get 4 songs, but given the options available, are you going to get a sample of this and a sample of that, or more of one thing than another? Who knows? That's half the fun. So we've only got time for one more, though, which means, as I say, there's 2 Timothy B. Schmidt songs on here. Obviously, we've heard him sing Rusty's songs, but it'd be nice to hear him sing one of his own. But my favourites that we haven't heard yet are also Paul Cotton tunes, Western Waterloo and One Horse Blue, which I think should have been the single. I don't even know if there was a single from this album. If there was, it didn't do anything in the charts, whatever it was. So yeah, we'll press on and hear one more song, after which I will, of course, play what we could have won, which is the next 4 tracks. I mean, I'm not going to play another 4 tracks. We're going to find out what they would have been. And then we'll wrap things up after that. So let's have random track number 4. The favourites. So Tim's not on offer today. This is Paul's Western Waterloo, which closed out side 1 of the original vinyl.
There he goes, he's a traitor. Moving on through the Virgin land. He's got the word from the government that it's too late for a lonely man to make a stand. His reasons read like a prophecy. He made them up as he went along. Those who saw it as a fallacy are remembered as only dead and gone. Now we all know who was right, and the time showed who was wrong. So that we heal with all their might. I guess they knew that it wouldn't be long. It wouldn't be long.
I've been very good today at not singing along, because your ears need protection from such things.
His
Yeah, Western Waterloo, ladies and gentlemen. And now, as I say, we are playing what we could have won. This would have been our next track, One Horse Blue. Again, great Paul Cotton tune. But that's all the time we have to hear from that. If it had been first, it would have been followed by Bit of Blue from Tim, the album opener, Sagebrush Serenade, which was the other Rusty song on the album, and Whatever Happened to Your Smile, again, Tim tune. So, yeah, 4 great tunes that we heard, 4 great tunes that we missed, and then there's Susanna languishing in last place on the random list. Okay, winding up with another great Paul Cotton tune there, Western Waterloo. Again, that's one that to me feels like it could have been a hit in the mid-70s had it been given a chance, but it wasn't and it didn't, so oh well. I should mention that this album was self-produced by the band after working with Jack Richardson on the previous few. Jack was probably best known for his work with the Guess Who for all those years. Did some Alice Cooper and some other stuff as well. But yeah, they'd brought him in to give them a more commercial sound and try and get a big hit single, and it really hadn't happened, despite all the pieces, picked up or otherwise, seemingly being in place. But there you go. They were always seemingly destined to be country rock's also-rans, which was hideously unfair. And I mean, they've got a great catalogue that if you know it, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, go and check some of it out, starting with the rest of this album, probably. But there's many other great places to go. In fact, go and check out that ranking show from Pete and Grant, because, I mean, Pete didn't have this in his top 10 because he's insane. But it was number 4 for Grant, who's less insane. Probably rank even a notch or 2 higher for me, perhaps, but there's so many great albums in the catalogue that who can say, really. Some good compilations as well for a starting point, but don't get stuck on a best of, because there's much more to this band than you can fit on 1 or even 2 discs. So, as you saw, we narrowly missed out on hearing Sagebrush Serenade, but 1974 seems to have been a big year for serenades because, well, you can see some of the other albums I've covered from that year floating around my head about now. So quickly hit that big red subscribe button and head to one of those, or just have a look around. It's nice to have you here. Do stay. And I'll simply say bye for now, but not for long.
Acting is reacting. This does not mean acting again.